The Third Committee of the General Assembly is one of the 6 committees in the United Nations. It is subdivided by themes that the General Assembly thinks that are important to manage or that are worth to save. They focus on human rights. They unite and work with organizations and experts to protect and work for the human rights. This committee takes problems from all over the world, speak about them, and find the best solution to solve the problem with the best solution possible. This committee also works for the development of society by lowering the percentage of drug, crime, and alcoholism in society, always looking for the good of the families, children, and adults. In 2009, this committee worked for the protection of human rights by protecting women and children, to respect and help indigenous people, refugees, by eliminating racism and discrimination. As mentioned before, the Third Committee is very focused on social issues. Nowadays, it has made several resolutions that have made a huge change around the world. Today, there are still a lot of problems. That is why, at the 63rd session of the General Assembly, they present 67 draft resolutions. The majority of them were proposed under the Human Rights Agenda. Some of these resolutions are specified to certain countries that have human rights violations. During 2016, the Third Committee has come into some resolutions that benefit human rights and international peace. These are some of the resolutions achieved: financing and development, end of hunger and poverty, climate change in divided out ecologically interdependent world, achieving the goals of the United Nations Decade Water for Life, implementing of the counter-terrorism strategy with full respect of human rights, human security as a part of international peace and security, including disarmament and nuclear control. The Third Committee of the General Assembly has managed to solve many humanitarian problems. Today, there are still missing several problems that the UN is trying to fight.
The Third Committee relates to a range of social, humanitarian affairs and human rights that affect people all over the world. The work of the Third Committee focuses on the examination of Human Rights Council, which discusses problems relating to the advancement of women, the protection of children, indigenous issues, the production of fundamental freedoms through the elimination of racial discrimination and xenophobia, and the right to self-determination.
Mexican young leaders are aware of what's happening in the society and is committed to start a project that creates sustainable society. They are based on the Sustainable Development Objectives that were proposed by the United Nations. The SDOs are 17 objectives to stop poverty, fight against inequality, injustice, and deal with climate change. These objectives were created in 2015 at the Summit for Sustainable Development members of the ONU. Approved the agenda for 2030 for sustainable development. These new objectives were based on the Millennium Development Goal. There were 8 goals against poverty that the world is committed to achieve by 2050. MYL is linked between teenagers and the association, and their main purpose is to encourage Mexican teenagers to create and promote projects inspired in sustainable development society through Golpes de Impacto. They are based on the 17 SDOs of the United Nations. Some of the actions that the Mexican young leaders have achieved are the impact blows by making workshops of concern on the use of organic cleaning products that are harmless for the environment, their advantages and their problem that the normal ones bring. This was achieved on May 12 of 2017. They created the YWLA, which promotes the woman to have confidence and make changes in the society in order to have gender equality. They promoted YWLA in the CSW. It is an intergovernmental organization dedicated to the gender equality and women's empowerment. In New York City, and they promoted an English workshop in Oblatos in 2015. Mexican new leaders work through impact blows. This refers that organizations, in this case Mexican new leaders, unite or link with other organizations of Jalisco to form bigger impact or to be able to develop an idea that can make the difference in the world. These ideas are based on the objectives proposed by the United Nations and their objectives of sustainable development.